I don't think I appreciated Die Hard, the first one, enough when I was younger. But now as an adult and someone who's keen, very keen on films, I think there's a lot to take from Die Hard, and I'm sure we're going to mention it at some point. But Alan Rickman is immense in this film.
I'll nail my colours to the mast now. He's my favourite part of the film. I mean, Bruce Willis is great, right? There's not many people that could have done this part as well as him. I'm sure we'll get into the casting of, who they possibly wanted or not. And I know there's one name that we have spoken about before on another podcast who could have done it. But I can't see anyone doing Hans Gruber as well as Alan Rickman. And it was his first film role.
I was going to come to that. I know, he was far from a novice actor, but everything prior to this had been mainly stage, so theatre. And I think he'd done some television as well, hadn't he? But just to jump in at a film to that magnitude and give the performance that he does is brilliant.
Because Alan Rickman, right, is one of my all-time favorite actors. He's definitely up there. He's top 5 for me, right? If I had to name 5 actors, Alan Rickman would be in there. And you have the outpouring of grief when someone passes away, or a famous person passes away, and it's always a case of, for me, I'm always like, look, unfortunately, that's just a part of life that happens. It is sad, but that happens. And when someone famous passes away, I'm not one of those people who's like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. Alan Rickman's the only person that has happened, and I've been like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. And he didn't even, to me, seem that old.
No.
Because I think he was only 60s, wasn't he? And I was much the same. The other person that when they passed away was Robin Williams for me. And he hadn't done much, I know, in the last few years. But I just grew up with him, and I just thought, I grew up with his films. I didn't grow up with him. He's like 40 years older than me. But yeah, gutted when some of these actors, and I'm more gutted about the fact you'll never see them in anything again or anything new.
And I'm sure for you, like for me, because I know you're a fan, Alan Rickman is because we got to see him a load in the Harry Potter series. And he's the best thing in all those films.
Yeah, look, there's 3 things for me: Hans Gruber, the Sheriff of Nottingham, and Snape.
Yeah.
He's fucking brilliant in all of them.
You think about it now, right? Well, I know Snape turned out to be a quote-unquote hero of the Potters franchise, but for a time, he had played 3 of the best villains in films or, novelization of, film versions of books. He was the best villain for, I can't think of many characters that are better than his Hans Gruber, his Sheriff from Nottingham, and his Snape.
The Sheriff of Nottingham is that scene where he says, cancel Christmas, and what's it? Cut his heart out with a spoon.
Why a spoon, cousin? Because it's dull, you twit. It'll hurt more. We're doing that film soon. We've got to do that.
Fucking brilliant film. Brilliant film. Yeah.